Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to a new reactions video, number 2. So hopefully going to over time get a little bit better bit in front of the camera, so stay with me. If you do like what you see and hear and stuff like that, click subscribe. Let's try and get to that first milestone of 1,000 subscribers. But today we're going to be looking at the differences between US and UK fast food sources. So I've been to the US a couple of times, tried a few things, but hearing the differences between the two is going to be really cool. So, yep, let's get into it.
For some fast food chains, it's not just about the food.
It's all about the sauce. Sure, we've covered sauce on Food Wars before, but today we're deep diving into all the exclusive sauces from the biggest fast food chains.
Who has the best signature sauces for burgers, chicken, pizza?
What about some forbidden fast food combos? Maybe Domino's Pizza with Wingstop Ranch.
McNuggets and cane sauce? We're trying everything. This episode's ridiculous.
It's time for Sauce Talk.
Sauce Talk.
We're gonna start with
Okay, so we've got chicken, burgers, pizzas. Number one is probably going to be chicken. It's just that, it's easy for me to relate to. That's probably the most things I would dip. Never really have a dip with the burger. Do with pizza, although, spoiler alert, I'm not a fan of pizza. So that's probably caused the people who are watching who are a fan of pizza to quickly shut down and move on somewhere else. I do like pizzas in certain ways. So here in the UK, Pizza Express chain did a carbonara pizza, bechamel and truffle pizza. They were both really nice. I'm just not a fan where they just load so much tomato sauce on the base that all you can really taste is tomato. So yeah, spoiler alert, the pizza bit probably is not going to be my favourite, but chicken, definitely love a chicken. Burgers, kind of 50-50, so let's see what's happening.
the chicken dipping sauce category. To me, a good sauce has two components. One, it's delicious on its own, and two, whatever you add it to, it enhances both the sauce and the thing you're using to eat it. Harry, what makes a good sauce for you?
I think for me, a good sauce has to have a few things. When it comes to the viscosity, it's got to be thick enough that it clings to whatever you're dunking. It's got to be tasty in its own right, but not too tasty so as not to overpower
See
whatever you're
gravy
dipping.
there.
Excellent point, my man. All right,
Love it,
first up
gravy.
is Popeyes. Popeyes in the US has 9 dipping sauces. We're not focusing on the regular sauces like ketchup, but today we're focusing on chain exclusives and signature sauces. Popeyes is pretty generous with the sauce packets, I feel. Let's taste the sauce. It tastes like a ranch that has more like pepper, possibly peppercorn in it.
That's the one big thing I noticed between us here in the UK and in the US. You do see ranch, and obviously the pronunciation is a little bit different. We do have ranch dressing in certain places, but it's nowhere near as common as you guys have in the US. And yeah, it's a little bit bland possibly, but it's one of my favourite things. So look into this black and ranch. It'd be great to see if we got that in the UK.
Which I really like. I think it's a good sauce. I don't know what the blackened part is though. Let's go with the dip. That is good. Because Popeyes already is a more flavorful brand of fried chicken. This sauce pairs with it very well. Now the ingredients list wasn't on the website, but of course
Never heard of
it is
Popeyes,
right
though.
here on the package.
we have
Who
that in
can
the UK?
read text this small? I certainly can't, but I got this guy. Okay, so there you go. So for those of you magnifying glass fans out there, you can find out what it is. One ingredient on here that people are probably familiar with is monosodium glutamate, also known as MSG. It's a flavor enhancer that gives food that umami taste.
MSG, can I show my age? Which obviously I mentioned before anyway, but yeah, MSG. Was that not Short Circuit? The robot was talking about MSG or monosodium glutamate, and then he said, "Oh, it looks like a butterfly," and that's when they realised he kind of had a conscience and kind of was more than just a robot.
UK Popeyes offers 8 dips. The US has buttermilk
so we do
ranch
get
as
it
well
in
as
the UK,
blackened
cool.
ranch, but ours is just standard. Try the ranch. You do have actual herbs in there, which is nice.
Find
It
out
does
my
go well
local
with chicken,
Popeyes then,
especially with the
see where
Popeyes
nearest
chicken,
one
which
is.
does have a heat to the breading. The ranch ingredients aren't listed online, but they are listed on the packet. Gotta say, looking through here, there is nothing that jumps out at me as scary or weird. It's all pretty natural ingredients, to be honest. So compared to the US Popeyes, we are getting more sauce in our packets. The caveat to that is that we are paying much more per gram if you order more sauce.
Viscosity is very important when it comes to a sauce. I think this
Yeah.
is like the viscosity I think I'm looking for a dipping sauce. It's not
sauce
going to be too
definitely
drippy,
is
but you don't want it too thick because then it's not
liquidy.
going to stick to it whenever
But
you
I
dip
think
it in
that's because
there,
some
right?
of the
I'd say that's on the
things that
runnier
we
side for a
can't
fast
have
food
in
sauce.
the UK,
I do
you
like the
guys can
packaging of
have
this
in
one.
the
It's
US.
nice and wide, so you have quite a good area of attack for your dips. I think realistically, 2 of these would be plenty for a meal as well. These are fairly generous sizes. Joe was actually kind enough to ship me some Blackened Ranch from a US Popeyes. I want to see what the difference is. Immediately noticing this is a much thicker sauce than our ranch. The buttermilk gives it a real kind of tang, that almost like sourness that you get from that buttermilk yogurty flavor. It's very different to
Do
the
like
kind of tang that's
buttermilk
imparted
in
by
this,
the acid,
slight
which is in our
soury
one.
tang.
One wonders, what would this ranch taste like on a slice of Pizza Hut pizza? That's right, we're mixing it up, folks.
I personally never tried this before, but I'll give it a go with the UK Popeyes ranch.
As I said, not a fan of pizza, so this is going to be an interesting one for me. I might try it. I might have to push myself out there. I will eat pizza, just not a whole tomato-based pizza. If the kids or my wife are having a pizza, yeah, I'll have a slice. But other than that, I wouldn't go and pick it. Let's put it that way. So, it'd be interesting to see some of the dipping sauces they've got for pizzas as well.
I think while on the surface, it seems an odd combination, it really isn't that far from just putting like a Domino's garlic and herb on the pizza. So I don't think Americans are insane for trying it.
It tastes like any other dipping sauce you get with a cheese pizza. It's like, you know. Now you know, not worth doing the double dash for Popeyes and Pizza Hut if you were thinking to combine the pizza and the sauce. And now let's look at the sweet heat. That's really good. Let's see how it pairs with the chicken. Look at that.
Now,
It is
heat.
sweet and it has a little
So
heat.
that's going to be a bit like a sweet chili sauce, I guess. Personally prefer just the straight up chili sauces, so like a spicy sauce or something like a brown Frank's hot dipping sauce or hot sauce, which you often get with wings and other bits. It's just a spicy chili sauce. It's not got any sweetness to it. We do have sweet chili and other things in a couple of places, but yeah, personally for me, forget the sweetness, just go straight for the heat.
Okay, look at the ingredients. It's mostly sugar and water. It's likely to be stickier than the Blackened Ranch, but just holding it in here, this is way more liquidier, which I've just heard from the good people at dictionary.com is totally a word.
I also wanted to talk about the mango habanero sauce. I gotta say, visually, I like the look of this one. It kind of reminds me of like a mango chutney. I'll try this one with a spicy chicken sandwich. Spice on spice.
So mango chutney. Some people might from outside the UK or other places might not know or might use it in a different way, but here in the UK, if you go to an Indian restaurant, they're probably most likely to be Bangladeshi, to be fair, and have a curry, you will often get dips to go with your poppadom, so that sort of fried crisp, large fried crisp. You'll have mint sauce, kind of a lime chutney, and a mango chutney. So it's a really sweet, smooth chutney. No real heat to it. The heat comes with the lime pickle. That's really my personal favourite. It's quite sharp, quite sour in some places, but got a nice heat to it. But the mango one, people who want to kind of soften some of the spice of their foods, will often go for a mango one. So yeah, that's interesting. We've got it in chicken as well. I'll say I'm going to need to hunt down my local Popeyes and give it a try.
I like the way the sweetness kind of contrasts. This is definitely a combination where, again, if you just want spice, then maybe try this one out. We have another spicy sauce option from UK Popeyes, which is Louisiana Hot. I wanted to compare the spice level here with the mango habanero. The main difference between these two is that the Louisiana Hot contains Tabasco. It's definitely got heat to it. I don't know if it's necessarily got more heat than the mango habanero, but it doesn't have that sweetness to kind of balance it out. You do get quite a lot of the vinegar. I'm not like a huge hot sauce guy, but I think if you are someone who...
Louisiana Hot then sounds like the one for me. Straight up with a bit of spice to it. You don't want to overpower it. You don't want to be just tasting the heat or feeling the heat of the sauce. You want it to be enhancing the flavour of the chicken, giving you that little tingle in the back of your mouth, on your tongue, building as you eat, but not just basically just destroying your mouth and taste buds so that all you taste is like that kind of harsh chemicaliness. Sometimes when you get really hot food, you can just taste that metallic-y chemicalness. Even though it's made from chili peppers, it just loses a bit
typically put maybe sriracha or Frank's on your food, then this is a good option.
Next
Hey,
up,
Richard Frank,
KFC. They have 12
KFC.
sauces available. This KFC sauce was launched in October of 2020. Yeah, that's half full. Half? Oh my God, you must, to quote my British colleagues, I get joking. This sauce is holding it down at KFC. It's great on its own with the chicken, which I already love. Together, flavor multiplier. I'm not seeing anything as a cause for concern. Then again, I am the host of Food Wars, so we probably have different ideas of what concern would be, but I think it looks pretty standard.
Funnily enough, we actually don't have just KFC sauce here in the UK. What we do have are 6 dip options. Technically in the UK, gravy counts as a side dish rather than a sauce. For the purposes of this video, because you're dipping your food in it, I think we count it as a sauce.
Let's just dive into gravy for a moment, and I just shared it with you. KFC gravy is my number one go-to when I go to KFC. I don't eat loads and loads of fast food, but if I do go for a KFC, gravy is 100% the way to go. Just love the fact that it's nice and thick, clings to the chicken, gets in all of the kind of imperfection or like the bubbliness of the crispy coating. I know it's probably made for all of the leftover stuff, but it tastes amazing. And yeah, just to kind of put everyone off their dinner if they're eating right now, any gravy that's left over after I finish dipping, I can just drink. So I know that's rather embarrassing, and people probably just go when they hear that, but which is what people I'm with normally do as well when I do it. But yeah, you can't leave any gravy in the pot. And I think he's about to hold up. Is it the supercharger mayo perhaps? So we also get the supercharger mayo, buttermilk mayo. They're kind of like my next ones in the list. I will avoid just the ketchup and the barbecues and the sweet chilies. Something with the gravy or a little bit of mayonnaise, dairy side of things. Just for me, with the herbs and spices of a KFC, just go perfectly together.
Look at the supercharger dip. KFC describes this as their infamously spicy mayo. As for the taste, it's a really good sauce. It's probably my go-to sauce at KFC in the UK, other than maybe gravy. It is very thick, which I think makes it very good for dipping. The ingredients for this can be found on the packaging. The only ones to watch out for there might be potassium sorbate. There's also yeast extract in here, which is pretty much just what Marmite is. Popeye's sandwich, KFC sauce. I think that really works. In terms of like spicy mayos, like I say, on the cooler side, which when you already have like a spicy chicken sandwich is kind of what you want.
Here's the comeback sauce. First, we taste the sauce. All right, Caniacs, get ready to lose your mind in the comments.
Okay, looking forward to later to working out what that Raising Cane's is. Never heard of it.
Do I like this better than the KFC sauce? Hard to say. Both are really good. I think this sauce is, by its own merit, as good as the KFC sauce. I would be happy to have my KFC with either one of these sauces. The comeback sauce is closer to like a peppery ranch. It's more savory. This one is a sweeter, not like barbecue, but has a sweetness to it. Is that moving at all?
Sounds like a comeback
One thing you
sauce
can
for
say
me
about the
then.
comeback sauce at KFC, it is down with the thickness. I would say my personal preference, do not want to go thicker than this. I want to see the Cane's chicken with the KFC sauce. And that's perfectly fine.
Okay guys, Cane's. Obviously going to have to be a US only brand. I do see the Chick-fil-A bag there as well, so interesting to see what's coming from there. Never ever heard of it. Is it across the whole of the US? Is it like In-N-Out Burger that is just California? Is it regional? Let me know in the comments. Next time I'm in the US, I'm going to have to try some Raising Cane's just to. I've covered some of the other ones. I'm going to go and find the Popeyes now. I know they're here in the UK. And I think there's a Wingstop in the middle there, so we've got some of those here in the UK as well.
The KFC and Popeyes, I feel both their chicken could exist on their own with no dipping sauce. Cane's without sauce is like, I don't know, something. Next, Wingstop, baby. They have, I don't know, a million sauces. We're focusing on the most popular dipping sauce, ranch.
We also do have Wingstop Ranch here in the UK.
Before we continue, I'm going to state for the record, and I've said this 1,000 times, ranch is perfectly fine, and all ranch tastes the same. All right, let's taste this ranch everyone says is so great.
I think rich is the word that comes to mind. You get that buttermilk flavor, that kind of like yogurty tang almost.
This tastes like all the other ranches. Wingstop, seems to be a bit pricier when it comes to the sauces. Obviously, visually, you can see why. I think this cup right here was $1.99, and the large, $5.99. Now let's try it with
Yeah, but if
the
you're gonna
wing.
have a
I'll do a
tub
hot one.
that
This
big,
is privileged
that
eating
is a
right here.
good-
Packaging's
it's a good
pretty good.
dipping sauce.
Again, like relatively
well worth
wide,
it.
I would say, at the top, so it is easy to dunk. This is much more like a classic American ranch.
To me, the best thing about the Wingstop Ranch is the containers in which they provide for you. Look at it. I mean, the smallest one is still way bigger than your regular. Here's the KFC one.
On delivery apps, this was the only size option they had. I'm not sure about in-store.
I don't dislike it, it's just it tastes like ranch. To prove a point, look what I got. Got the Hidden Valley Ranch, right? Little thicker than the Wingstop
Hidden
Ranch.
Valley's something
The
else we don't
difference
get
is
in the UK.
noticeable. I think for the Wingstop one, it's definitely creamier and doesn't have as strong as a ranch flavor as Hidden Valley Ranch. To be eating chicken, wings, tenders, whatever, and run out of sauce or you run out of chicken, it's the worst feeling in the world. So this makes perfect sense to me. I think it's worth a few extra dollars, personally.
Yeah,
Enjoy
nice
the
big-
decadence of
nice
dunking
big
your wings
bucket
as
of
much ranch
dipping
as you
sauce.
want. If you want to know all
better
my
to
thoughts
have
on
too much
Wingstop
than
and the
too little.
sauces, go ahead and check out our tier list episode directly after this. Pizza Hut pizza. Here we go. Dip in the ranch.
Pizza
It's
again.
fine.
It's
I think
ranch,
putting
it's
ranch on
gonna
pizza
be
is
like-
madness
I think
anyway.
when he said
I
Domino's,
mean, what about Chick-fil-A
God, I
little
love
nuggies?
Chick-fil-A.
Huh?
do you like Chick-fil-A?
That's actually really good. The Chick-fil-A nuggets are a bit denser, so with the lightness of the ranch, those two actually work well together.
We also wanted to talk about some sauces exclusive to each country. Here we have a couple of sauces from Nando's, a very popular peri-peri chicken chain here in the UK. The US does have a few locations, we made a video on that, but they're very few compared to the UK and not as big a menu. Firstly, you have standard Nando's peri-peri sauce. This comes in a range of flavor options. As you
Yeah.
can see, the peri-peri sauce is pretty
It's
runny.
going to be quite liquidy.
This one is the medium. For me, that is like
And-
probably borderline enough spice already.
That's
I think I will often
kind of where
order
I'd start,
my
medium.
chicken hot, but then have like a slightly cooler
But-
sauce on the side. One
So one thing we do have with Nando's, and like with KFC, we get all these little offshoots. We have a Frango's, which is kind of a rip-off of Nando's, or the other way around, whoever came out first, although Nando's is the big chain. We've got KFC, but then you also have things like DFC, so Dixie Fried Chicken, or these little independent chicken pizza kebab shops that kind of opened up. But for me, with Nando's Peri Peri, you got to go hot or extra hot with the chicken, and then if you're really feeling up to it, then you can ask for an extra hot sauce. But if you go with just hot or extra hot on the chicken, and then just hot on the sauce, it's fiery enough. It'll get tingling in your mouth and those kind of things, but it's not going to be to the point where you're going to go home crying.
fantastic Nando's invention is their peri-naise. This is a peri-peri flavored mayo. That one you actually have to pay for an individual portion, but the portions that you get, from my knowledge, are pretty
Again,
good.
mixes
Less
dairy,
I love
dairy and
Nando's peri-naise.
spice.
That is
Good
the mild
combo,
one,
because
so
the
there's
dairy
almost
brings
no
the
heat to
spice
it,
down, but you
kinda
get
like
the flavour and the
almost
spice.
smoky, chili flavor. I want to try another like forbidden food combo. Here I have a chicken McNugget with Nando's sauce. We are blurring the chicken lines today, lads.
Chicken
McNuggets
nugget from
on the
McDonald's,
blander
no
side as far as
flavour.
nuggets go. So the addition of a little spice, that kind of helps out.
Harry, Nando's is a throwback. That's like 3 years ago we did that. I got those sauces. I got bottles of those sauces. Love all their sauces, delicious stuff. We're doing Chick-fil-A. It has shown up sometimes in Food Wars, although there's not a dedicated one in the UK, I don't believe. So that
Yeah, so we don't have Chick-fil-A in the UK, as you just said there. So I was in the US twice in the last few months. Once in Florida, around Orlando, and another time more recently in California, so Los Angeles and Anaheim. My kids were with me on the first one, and it was on their bucket list to do Chick-fil-A, along with a few other places as well we went to. So we did Chick-fil-A, we did they wanted to do In-N-Out Burger. I didn't know that was just California at that point, until I tried to find one and realised I'd have to drive all the way across America to get a burger. Didn't think that was really sensible, so we stuck to the likes of Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, those kind of places, and then I did an In-N-Out Burger in California more recently. But I do like Chick-fil-A and their sauce.
That's why we've never done a Chick-fil-A Food Wars. People love their sauces. I don't get it. People are into it. I am not. Here's a list of all the Chick-fil-A sauces you can get. And of course, the Chick-fil-A sauce, which is the one we're focusing on. I mean, it's a nice sauce. There's definitely a mustard base to it. really close to like a Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, but thicker. I do like that. Nuggets. Yeah, those work really well together. I see why the sauce is so hyped, although I would say without the sauce, chicken, a little bland. Some have said to me that Chick-fil-A sauce tastes just like the KFC sauce. Tasting them back to back. Color's similar. Yeah, pretty close. I would say the KFC sauce, again, is sweeter, not as mustardy.
What you probably notice
yeah,
as well,
close enough.
let me just pause that up, is the colouring between the two is going to be a bit different between the US and the UK. We've got a number of things that you're just not allowed to use in food that you guys still have. So certain colourings, additives that are banned for us for links to cancer and other things. So that's probably when you look at some of the differences, the sauces being thicker, for example, we're not allowed to put certain additives in. Some of the colourings, we need to rely on it. The one that always jumps out at me is if you compare, I think it's Fanta, between the US and UK. You look at the orange colour of the two, your one looks like it's just been picked up out of the nuclear reactor where Homer works, out of The Simpsons, and our one is a much more subdued kind of orange natural colouring from probably carotene or carrots or caramel, those kind of things.
Got some McNugs. Yeah, that might be the best one of the day so far. Chick-fil-A isn't a chicken sandwich restaurant. It's a sauce restaurant, and they just happen to have chicken.
Morley's is a popular chicken chain based here in London. Morley's offers a range of what I would kind of call standard kebab shop sauces here in the UK. Morley's also got so popular that they were able to collaborate with Heinz to produce their very own fried chicken sauce. What they will often do is just leave big bottles of sauce out so you can help yourself. If you get them to take away like we did, they will also have these little tubs of sauce. Give the burger sauce a quick try. Burger sauce is just such a classic UK condiment. Broadly a Thousand Island dressing kind of vibe. The fried chicken sauce is really good. It's broadly kind of like a burger sauce, but just with everything dialed up and some heat thrown in there. KFC chicken.
Okay, I was honest with the pizzas. I said about the gravy. Gonna throw another one out there now. Burger sauce. Basically ketchup and mayonnaise mixed together. No, not for me. It's I don't know, it just doesn't taste right with a burger. Doesn't taste right with chicken. None of that stuff. So Morley's chicken good. When you start to put the heat and other flavourings in there, you can turn a kind of burger sauce into something different, but just plain burger sauce, I guess a bit like they were saying about don't see the point of ranch, I don't see the point of just a plain burger sauce.
Morley's sauce. What are you going to do about it, Colonel Sanders? And Kentucky meets London in the best of ways.
Raising Cane's!
This is what
All
I
the
want to know about.
Caniacs, this is what you've been waiting for. Raising Cane's has skyrocketed in popularity, and so has their Cane's sauce. The sauce recipe has been top secret since they first opened. It is so secret, only the general managers are allowed to know the recipe, and the only ones responsible for making the sauce every day. I think that's hilarious. The sauce is like top secret. Who cares at this point? Because everyone's made their knockoff sauce for it. It's like, whatever. Yo, they got a huge thing in front. I asked for 32 ounces, and I got it. Look at this. And when I asked the guy wasn't like, huh? He was like, yeah, coming right up. Like, they do this all the time. This is so funny.
For,
this is definitely enough sauce.
For dipping sauce. So does anyone know what kind of sauce that actually is, rather than just their Raising Cane sauce? I'm looking at it. I'm going to assume it's again a little bit like burgery sauce, possibly lined up with the Chick-fil-A sauce. Just looking at the colouring. But that's a big top. I know I said you can never have enough sauce, or you don't want to run out of sauce, but that's going too far. Well, no, it's not going too far. You can never have enough sauce, but man, that's bigger than most large drinks in fast food restaurants here in the UK.
Get a baseline lead here. Here's what I'm tasting. Definitely ketchup, definitely mayo to make it creamier, definitely a Worcestershire sauce. It has a hot sauce sting to it, and like the garlicky celery salt. I think the Worcestershire sauce is the key ingredient there. Boom.
I love the way we pronounce different things.
The whole thing, right?
Worcestershire.
Okay, we've reached too much sauce. Okay, it's not like Chick-fil-A, but it's the same as Chick-fil-A. It's the sauce. This is a sauce company. This chicken has no flavor. Cane's, Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A chicken, Cane's sauce. I can't decide. They're not similar, but they're both like have their own unique flavor that I like. What if I try the Cane's sauce with KFC chicken? before walking away from this, I'm gonna say KFC tenders with either Chick-fil-A sauce or Cane's sauce is the best combo of all this. And this is my favorite. Now, how can Raising Cane's and other companies get away with not disclosing the ingredients of their secret sauces? They're actually protected by something called trade secret law, which protects classified information in the food industry. That means everything from recipes to formulas to even manufacturing processes can be a secret.
The same pretty much goes for the UK. It can be extremely difficult to patent a recipe, so it's more common to patent a food item or a food production system. I wouldn't say I've had too many surprises from the chicken chains. I would say that my favorite so far would probably be the Morley's fried chicken sauce. That was really good. The Wingstop Ranch was also really good. And maybe the Supercharger mayo.
Overall, I would say that if you like Cane's or Chick-fil-A, I would say you might want to try their sauces with KFC. If you're a fan of fried chicken and dipping sauces, I would say make 2 stops. It's worth it. Our next sauce category is going to be signature burger sauces. These
Okay, burgers. This is going to be an interesting one. So I'm not the biggest burger fan. I like really fresh burgers. They've got a lot better. They used to taste horrible here in the UK. Really processed tasting. I know they are heavily processed anyway, but they've got a lot better over the last few years. But I don't tend, if I do have a burger, I don't tend to put a sauce on it. I kind of let the natural, the melted cheese, the tomatoes kind of give me that flavour, give me that sauce. But it'd be interesting to see what kind of sauces you guys have got, what sauces we've got that I just don't know about. And yeah, I do see the In-N-Out burger on the right hand side. Like I say, my kids were really jealous. Well, no, jealous isn't the right word. They're really annoyed with me that I went and when I was in California, I got In-N-Out burger and they didn't get it.
sauces are fairly consistent across all chains. Starting with McDonald's, they have 9 sauces on the menu, not including Big Mac sauce.
We also have 9 sauces at our McDonald's.
Big Mac sauce has been taken off of the regular menu, so we had to ask for ours on the side. The Big Mac sauce was created in 1968 to go along with the Big Mac.
You might be wondering, Harry, why do you have a cup of coffee on the table right now? What if I told you that was a Big Mac? Currently, Big Mac sauce on its own is not available on the McDonald's menu, unless you get creative. By ordering a Big Mac, adding extra sauce, and removing every other possible ingredient, all you were left with is sauce. It caused a little confusion, and I did briefly have to explain myself to the staff, but they were very accommodating and eventually just provided me with a cup of Big Mac sauce.
Yeah, as you can see though, £4.50 or quick conversion, about $5.50, $6. You have to basically pay for a whole Big Mac just to get some sauce. Whereas obviously in the US you can just ask for Big Mac sauce, pay $1 or so, and then bam, you've got the sauce. So we really do get ripped off with those kind of things here.
I wouldn't recommend doing this exactly unless you were maybe just a huge Big Mac sauce fan. Give it a try. It's hard to rival the kind of like tanginess of this. It's one of the world's most famous sauces for a reason.
It's the classic American fast food sandwich. Boy, I love a Big Mac. They struck gold with that sandwich. That's the sandwich.
I did want to try something that I think is deeply forbidden and wrong. Here I have a Whopper from Burger King. I think you know what this is going. I feel like this is going to upset fans of Burger King and fans of McDonald's. There's a lot going on, but here we have the forbidden love child of Ronald McDonald and the
Ronald
Burger
King.
King himself. We'll call this a Whopper.
King McDonald.
I tell you what, we might be onto something there. With the mayo on a Whopper,
You really
it just
need
doesn't
to
really
have
do
a double
anything.
Whopper,
Whereas
though,
this
not
one,
just a Whopper.
providing that same kind of like creamy, velvety texture, but with some actual flavor.
What do it taste like? Put this on some KFC. I'm a madman for this one. No. Oh, that surprisingly really clashes with chicken. I think the Big Mac sauce is for burgers only. Now, by looking at these ingredients, it sounds like the Big Mac sauce is mayo relish. Ours lists caramel color, and the UK does not. UK, how does ours look compared to yours?
Does it have a caramel color to it? I'd say
I think that goes back to what I said earlier about some of the stuff that we're just not allowed to use. A lot of those additives, process enhancers, flavour enhancers, we have to find more natural ones rather than the chemical ones. And that means that whilst we can get close in certain colours, it's not quite as well. And I'll leave you to decide what you think is better, whether you think our way is better or not. It just alters the flavour a bit.
Vaguely. It's got that kind of like orangey golden tinge that you expect from a Big Mac sauce. You'll notice that our ingredients list for Big Mac sauce is shorter than America's.
The UK does have different food standards than here in the US, which is why they don't include caramel color. Moving on to Burger King, we decided to try its zesty sauce and see how it matches up. Now I can't find a ton of information on the zesty sauce, but I know it's introduced in 2001 to accompany their onion rings.
Good name.
What the hell? Well, according to Yuli, I was unimpressed when we tried the zesty sauce many Burger King episodes ago, and I'll tell you what, still unimpressed. Already, this is the worst sauce we've had today. Let's try dipping it with some chicken, some nugs.
Good name.
I possess
Possibly
the
not a good
ability
sauce,
to
then.
enjoy horseradish. This sauce I do not like. That tastes better on the sandwich than it does on the nuggets.
We don't have Burger King zesty sauce here in the UK, but Joe did send me some. It took me a second to place the flavors there, but I think what I'm getting is dill and also the horseradish that's coming through. I think this probably would work in the UK. We love our horseradish, especially with our beef. Beef and horseradish sauce is like a classic thing for roast dinners in the UK.
Try it on a Big Mac.
You know, you people see at home what I'm forced to do.
Zesty sauce on a
Not
Big
my
Mac.
idea.
Again, we're mixing the King and the Ronald.
Does not work. Zesty sauce, bottom of the list.
Burger King in the UK offers 5 dips. Seeing as they lack a proper signature sauce and they seem to love their mayo, I guess we'll test the mayos out. The spicy mayo is pretty good. It does have a kick. It took a second, but then you kind of get it in the back of the throat a bit. Those bird's eye chilies. Similar chilies that they use in the peri peri sauce from Nando's. Fun fact. I think there's little
That's what
bits
it
of
should do.
onion
Get you in the
diced
back
up
of the
in
throat.
that.
Maybe
Seeing as I
a
desecrated
few
the
seconds
waffle with
later.
Big Mac sauce, I feel like it's only fair that I now do the reverse. I'm going to put spicy mayo on a Big Mac, breaking so many food rules today. I think on its own, when you taste the spicy mayo from Burger King, the heat comes through a lot more. I think when you have it kind of blending into a burger, there's a bit more to balance out the spice. So it's just like a little bit of a nice texture, very gentle heat, not too bad. I think maybe the Big Mac sauce helped the Whopper more than the spicy mayo helped the Big Mac.
I did want to mention the US only chain In-N-Out. In-N-Out is a California staple and it
In-N-Out
has a
burger.
very famous sauce, or
Yes.
spread as they like to call it. The spread you'll find on the burgers or the animal style fries. We can't say for sure what's in it, but I definitely taste mayo, ketchup, and some sort of relish. It looks like a classic burger sauce. This is a pretty generous amount of
Yeah, I
sauce,
didn't
definitely for a
actually
burger and for
try
the
the
fries.
In-N-Out
I say it's
one.
pretty
It
close
was
to Big
there,
Mac
lots of
sauce.
it,
Definitely has that relish, mayo,
I stuck to it
ketchup
double
flavor to
double.
it. There's something distinct in there. Can't place my finger on it. I know we did the animal style fries. What's it like on the regular fries? For animal style specifically, I can pull the flavor of the spread out of the animal style. And with the onions and the cheese, all of it together, I'm probably the last person on earth to say this out loud, but the animal style is very good. Try it on a burger, yeah? Let's put it in there. Is a distinct flavor of the In-N-Out burger. It definitely makes the burger, the fries, sing with its flavor. So for sauce, yeah, it does a really good job of that. The Big Mac.
It's one thing I didn't know. In-N-Out's not so secret menu. So when I was in there, it was just, I had a little look. Oh, you got like 6 choices, a couple of choices of fries. I went for a double fries. Someone then told me about the secret menu. I was like, got a secret menu? How do I find out about it? They pointed me to the website, and it's literally right there. You've got the menu, and then next to it, the menu item. Not so secret menu. So next time I go back to California, I shall be venturing into the not so secret menu.
Sauce definitely has more of that pronounced relish flavor to it. But if you like a creamier, smoother sauce, then I think the In-N-Out spread's probably going to be more of your jam. I guess I'm curious what the In-N-Out burger tastes like with the Big Mac sauce, right?
Oh, Big Mac and In-N-Out, eh? Mix them all up, see what happens.
Those two work really well together. I feel like because this is already so raw onion heavy, that really clashes with already that vinegary relish flavor to it. Try the In-N-Out spread on a Big Mac. I'm gonna do something real forbidden with these combos. Big Mac number 2, animal style Big Mac. Yeah, that's really good. Animal style Big Mac. I think this is the winner of the
Animal style
video.
Big Mac.
If you can get these two
Can't
things
come up
together
with
quicker
California
so it
just
doesn't
for
like
that one thing.
coagulate,
Next one there, I'll
just
give it a
slide
go.
the cheese, onions, and animal style sauce onto a Big Mac. This works incredibly well. I think that the In-N-Out spread works on the Big Mac better than the Big Mac sauce. I said it. Out of everything that I've tested so far, I think my favorite forbidden combo mix has been the animal style Big Mac. I think I've invented something the internet's going to go crazy for. Make this happen. It's fantastic. And my favorite sauce in the burger category, geez, it's up in the air. I think I'm leaning more towards the In-N-Out spread.
Honestly, I think from these two chains, my favorite might be the sweet curry from McDonald's. I think that with the chicken nuggets is phenomenal. I do love the Big Mac sauce. I just wish there were a slightly easier way to order it than having to pay for an entire Big Mac and then getting it served to you in a cup.
And finally, pizza.
Before we jump on to pizza, so he mentioned about the sauces from McDonald's, and they used to do one here in the UK, which was kind of more like an English mustard and mustard sauce. So it had a slight sweetness to it, but it wasn't an American mustard. It was still very much an English mustard. And for people that have had that kind of bright, not the hot dog mustard that you have in the US, but we have a bright yellow English mustard. The brand was Coleman's, and it really gets you. It's like that. Same with horseradish. Back of the nose, the kind of the heat of the mustard that comes through at the back of the nose. It's what you'd always have with like hams and those kind of things here in the UK. McDonald's used to do a dip with their nuggets, which was a mustard. It was like a bit of heat like English mustard, but with a slight sweetness of like American hot dog mustard. Great combo, but they stopped doing it years ago, which was a real shame. Pizzas. It's going to be interesting. As I say, not the biggest pizza fan, but I do dip the Domino's, or with the spirals they do, which is like pepperoni cheese wrapped up, rolled up pizza dough, and you can dip those nice and easy as well.
Dipping sauces, of course, we included ranch. Starting off with Domino's over here, they have a bunch of sauces and dips. I think you get 1 cup per pizza order, and then each one after that is 99 cents. I don't know why you putting your pizza in ranch. Because what happens is, you take something that's awesome, pizza, and you cover it with this stuff, and now your pizza tastes like ranch. Why?
Since we don't have Domino's Ranch in the UK, I got some American Ranch to try. I will say with this one, it tastes very sour. It's got that kind of like buttermilk sourness to it. Although it tastes so sour that I'm not sure if it's how it's supposed to taste, or if this just kind of like went off a bit in transit to the UK.
I feel very strongly against dipping pizza in anything. I don't like it. Harry, are you a pizza dipper?
Broadly speaking, I don't mind the whole pizza ranch thing. I maybe have issue with people who like pour ranch just all over the entire pizza, but I think as like a crust dip, I have no issues with that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Domino's in the UK carries quite a few sauces. The most popular
So here we go. Look, so garlic and herb. So that's the one that's got this with the green top. Then you've got barbecue, which is the brown top, larger pot, and then the one with the white, that's the Frank's red hot dip. And that's what I was saying earlier. It's just a hot, spicy sauce, no sweetness, quite thin though, so it's not something that it will stick to your food, but it's got a nice heat to it. If I've ever got like chicken wings or chicken tenders from Domino's, it's the Frank's sauce that I'll go with. But for pizza, garlic and herb all the way.
sauce, and the one that comes with pizzas by default in the UK is the garlic and herb. I do love it, like it's by far my favourite sauce at Domino's. My one complaint is that it is quite a rich sauce, and Domino's is already a very rich and salty food. I feel like maybe having a slightly lighter sauce might complement it a little bit better. This past September, Domino's actually did get into a bit of hot water with Brits about their sauce. They had to temporarily withdraw their sauce due to allergy concerns when traces of peanuts were found in it. It might not seem like a huge deal, but the public was not pleased. We really love this stuff. A 2023 survey from Domino's found that just in that year alone, Brits consumed enough garlic and herb sauce to fill 17 Olympic-sized swimming pools.
Moving on.
So I just share another really embarrassing fact. I am 50. If you go back to that picture that you just had there, it was only a few years ago that I found out that that little plastic piece that's sometimes in the middle of the pizza was to stop the cardboard from touching the cheese. We rarely get them in the UK. They just bring the pizzas in the boxes and hey, if the cardboard's touched the cheese, the cardboard's touched the cheese. It's probably why I didn't know, but yeah, embarrassing fact at the age of 50. It was only a few years ago I found that out.
Garlic flavoring. Oh man, this looks like trouble. Seeing the ingredients, it says that there's no garlic listed on here. It's garlic flavored, is that right?
Garlic,
Well, that's a bit concerning.
garlic butter makes anything.
Why does it taste like garlic? I hate it. I hate what they've done to pizza. You know, because if you put garlic and butter on anything, it's going to taste good. Yeah. There's butter and garlic, of course. It's like the best tasting things in
Best
the world.
thing ever.
I mean, it's easier to dip, and it's specifically for pizza. So yes, just I'm against pizza dipping. I don't like it. Just get pizza that tastes good. I mean, it looks like melted butter, right? Right. This one's gonna go fast. This is kind of giving me a headache, to be honest. Let's move on to Pizza Hut. They offer so many sauces. So we're gonna start with the ranch. Pizza just dropped its Pizza Trends Report of 2025, and ranch is still the most popular dipping sauce. Yeah, no kidding. All tastes the same. Let's dip it in this pizza. More amount than what Domino's is hooking up with, so Pizza Hut at least is
Someone's got to
actually
come up
the
with
hookup for the
a,
sauce, which we didn't do. I know
a
we're doing
ranch
forbidden
dressing that tastes
combos that
different,
destroyed
just
just about all the food we've gotten, and it's ranch. There's nothing forbidden about putting ranch on something, right?
We may not have ranch over here, but once again, we do have a garlic and herb sauce. For me, the Pizza Hut sauce is just lacking a little something, especially compared to the Domino's one. Something in there is giving it an almost like acrid taste, which I really don't appreciate.
not a Pizza
Continuing
Hut
the trend of
fan.
kind of forbidden food combination.
I don't know if it's different for other countries, but for me, if I'm having a pizza, which I say is rare, the Pizza Express chain in the UK or Domino's. Pizza Hut for me, I haven't been to Pizza Hut for decades. It used to be the only one we had, and then slowly we've kind of got other ones over the last few decades, and yeah, they're much better for me. I much prefer Domino's and Pizza Express compared to Pizza Hut. Even better are those small, little, tiny wood-fired ovens, possibly in little trailers that you get, pop-up sort of shops, where they are cooked for you there and then in a really hot wood-fired oven. They are the best.
We're going for what I actually think may be the best outcome here. We're getting some Pizza Hut pizza with some Domino's garlic and herb dipping sauce. I do like Pizza Hut's pizza. I just wish their sauce was this, basically. That, for me, a pretty ideal marriage. One more forbidden combo to try. Sweet icing dip, Domino's pizza.
What?
You know
What? Did he say sweet icing dip? You can't put sweet stuff on a pizza. I know people put sweet chili, but sweet icing, assuming it's the thing that I'm thinking of, which is just like icing sugar and water, which you would normally put on cakes and muffins and other things. I won't say biscuits, because obviously biscuits in the UK is one thing. Biscuits in the US are something very different. Really like the biscuits in the US, by the way. A McDonald's breakfast biscuit. Perfect.
I actually don't hate that. Sue me.
Pizza Hut garlic sauce, also $1. Pizza Hut used to have this in disposable dipping cups, and then they eventually switched it to these prepackaged sauce cups. Pizza fans go back and forth on this. Some say it depends on the location, but what seems to be the consensus is this sauce tastes worse in these prepackaged cups. That's funny. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's made in some factory stuck in this plastic container. It probably affects the taste, yeah. There's just something
plastic.
that really annoys me about
plastic
this pizza dipping
stuff, and it
sauce.
just seeps into the sauce.
As much as I don't like it, I have to taste it again because I'm not kidding. It's gonna sound crazy. It tastes a little bit like burnt plastic. Like it tastes like the container it comes in. All right, let's dip a perfectly fine pizza into a buttery garlicky sauce for no reason. In Pizza Hut, your garlic sauce sucks. Oh my God. It tastes like the container it came in. It's a forbidden combo. This sauce and that garbage can. That's the worst. What would I say was the worst sauce before? Zesty sauce? No, that's the new worst one. Bad.
I think it's an
New
obvious
worst
answer,
one.
but for me, the best pizza sauce in these categories is the Domino's garlic and herb dip.
I don't think we should be
Followed
dipping
by
our
the
pizza in
Franks.
any sauces regardless. And I'm asking you, America, and to some extent the UK, stop dipping your pizza in sauces, please.
Although we can't give an exact figure as to how many fast food sauces are consumed every year, we can assume it's a lot. The global sauces and condiments market is expected to earn a revenue of over $280 billion in 2025.
Right, guys. Well, that was it. Some great differences there. So you have more ranch than you can shake a burger or chicken out at this rate. We don't get the same amount here. There's some bits that I'm going to have to try the next time I'm in the US. Going to be hunting out the Popeye chicken, and I'm going to have to try a few of those other sauces that I didn't know some of our places in the UK had. So thanks for watching. I say smash that subscribe button. We're trying to get to that first milestone of 1,000 subscribers, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.